So hi Sayantan, welcome to Byjus exam prep.
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
And how does it feel clearing an exam, a big exam?
It feels great, sir. Like a long hurdle of 2 years, long studies, the continuous postponements and all. So it feels great. It feels a great relief to have actually qualified for the exam for which we have been preparing for so long. It's great.
Okay, Sayantan, can you brief us about yourself, about your family, your education background, and your
Yeah, yeah,
hometown,
yeah.
and the
Yeah. So,
start preparing for this exam?
yeah, yeah. So, like, I have done my BTech in computer science engineering. So then I went on to do MBA in operations management. Right. So after that, I was working in the corporate for 1 year. Then I decided that I should actually go into academics. Then I started preparing for UGC NET. Like then only I joined Byjus exam prep for my preparations and all. Then currently I'm working in IIM Kashipur as an academic assistant. And from here only I prepared for the exam. And then God willingly I like qualified for this, and I'll go into PhD probably in the next session.
That's really good. What about your family and your hometown? Where you come
Yeah, so
from?
I'm from Kolkata, West Bengal. I
Okay.
have my father and mother there, and currently I'm residing in Kashipur, Uttarakhand. I am Kashipur itself.
So being a BTech graduate, and then after that did your MBA with operations, right?
Yeah.
So what motivated you to go for UGC NET examinations in the JRF?
Sir, I've always been fascinated by the teaching profession, like how we can actually give back to the society from where we have taken all our resources, all our studies, materials, and all our experiences from. So it's actually quite fascinating, like to actually be giving back from the people, from the society where we have taken everything from.
That's a very good thought, Shantan. Acha, Shantan, when we start preparing for an exam, the biggest challenge is that we have a look at the syllabus and then we come to know that these are my strong areas and these areas I'm not little good at, so I need to work upon. So what were your strong areas? What were your kind of weak areas and how did you overcome your gray areas?
So, sir, when I started preparing for the exam, so I watched a lot of YouTube videos of like experiences of the toppers, like the interview we are having right now. So I had watched around 50, 60 interviews, like just to get a grasp of like whatever is asked in the exam, what the question demands and all, right? So after that, I like figured out that finance was my weakest subject because I am from a BTech background. Finance and economics was probably my weakest subjects, and after like preparing, currently I can say that finance and economics are my strongest subject. There is a lot, I owe a lot to for that, but yeah, finance and like I realized that if we can solve actually the practicals of finance, there are easy takings, like the easy marks are there. Instead of going into the assessment region of OB, HR, and marketing, like finance, the break even sum, the PV ratio sum, standard costing sum, they might seem a bit tedious while starting, but actually they would give you the better chance of scoring the full marks.
So how did you made this weakness a strength? I mean,
Yeah,
what was the
yeah,
thought
so
process
basically
behind
I
that?
didn't restrict myself to any particular like module or study materials. I borrowed from my friends. I solved those materials. I even watched YouTube videos. So like I took everything whatever I could. Like my goal was not to leave any stone unturned, right? So I another like I solved a lot of mock tests. Byju's exam prep has that section of sectional test, sectional MCQ. So there we get a lot of finance related MCQs as well. So that was quite helpful, and yeah, that's how it went ahead.
Now, a big question. We started preparing for the 2020 exam, and
Yeah,
then the
yeah, yeah,
COVID stuck.
yeah.
And many of us were like in a jinx or what to do, how to do, because the exams were getting postponed every now and then. There was no certainty with respect to the examinations. And this time it didn't even become more difficult because June and December attempts were clubbed together. So competition must be more, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
kept you motivated throughout this? Because exams being postponed, and then every time the notification comes, the exams are pushed off by a certain date again. So what was the motivating force behind all this?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge in this exam was the postponements, right? The questions weren't the hurdle. The hurdle was the continuous postponement, the mental agony the aspirants had to go through. It was common for all, even in the COVID second wave. things were not good for many candidates, right? So life was tough. Life was definitely tough. Even for me, things were not like rosy. But I always stuck to the belief that in the day you have to study. Whatever the target, whatever the goal I have set for myself to complete in the day, I would do that. And in the evening, after completion of studies, it's fine. It's fine to sunk. It's fine to like go into that zone, watch YouTube videos, watch motivational videos. So that was helpful. So yeah, like whatever happens at the end of the day, you need to believe like why you started the journey, why you were in the journey, and where you have to go after the journey, right?
So
So
that's a great thought. You
yeah,
must
so
have
yeah,
actually
so
worked a lot on this.
yeah. So sir, whatever has happened, at the end of the day, you think of it, but during the day, you have to complete your goal, you have to complete your tasks, you have to watch the videos, watch the classes, and then you're free. You are free after the class to do whatever you want.
So did you have a target or a timetable to follow every day that, this is how much I'll certainly be doing?
Yeah. See, sir, I never studied any topic wise or unit wise, right? So I always completed the whole syllabus together. So some people differentiate that I'll be doing finance now, economics tomorrow, statistics some other day. I never liked that way, right? So I always solved everything and studied everything from unit 1 to unit 10, because in the exam questions will be jumbled, right? So what's the point of learning things independently? So my goal was, when I'm reading the study materials, I will complete every study material, every unit of the study materials. Then I'll move on to MCQs. Then I'll move on to some other day. Then some other day I'll go on to like division. Like that only I've studied. And I've never studied any unit singularly.
So what role did mock tests, previous year questions,
Yeah.
section-wise tests played in your preparation?
Mock test, PYQs and sectional tests are the key to JRF. I am a strong believer that unless you solve the mock test, it's quite tough. Like just by theoretical knowledge, it's quite tough getting a JRF, right? So I have solved all the PYQs, all the 20 year PYQs. I have even solved all the exams of commerce PYQs as well, because the syllabus is almost same, right? Apart from 3 units, it's almost same. So as many MCQs you do, as many questions you solve, you get better. And one more thing I like to add, that just by solving the MCQs, solving the mock tests and judging yourself won't help. So I have never made any theoretical notes, but the only notes I made were of the MCQs, were of the mock test thing. Whatever question I couldn't solve, whatever the questions I felt important, I would note it down. I have around 5 notebooks just of mock tests. I have no theoretical notebooks. I have just read the PDFs. So at the end of the day, at the end of the like preparation schedule, I only revise the notebooks of my mock tests and PYQ things. If we study all those PYQs, all those mock test importance points, like you get to know a lot of things even from the outside, and they generally come in the exam.
So last 10, 20 years, PYQs is a task, right?
Yeah, it takes around 1 month, like to do 40 PYQs. Like if you are doing one and 2 PYQs daily. So yeah, you need to do that. Unless you do those stuffs, it's quite tough. I would recommend all the candidates to solve all those 40 mock tests. It would take 1 month. If you, after all the studies of the day, you watch the classes, you watch the videos, at the end of the day, solve one mock test or 2 mock tests daily and note down the important things. I did that, and it took me 1 month to complete the 40 mock tests. And after that, like you will be like on a different level. Like you must be knowing the management paper was quite iterative, right? It was not specifically tough, but it was iterative. But yeah, the cutoff was 176 and I've got 196. So my target was to beat the last year's cutoff. So if you beat last year cutoff, you are like quite sure of getting a GRF, right? So yeah, you need to solve all the mock tests, all the PYQs.
So how was Byjus exam prep instrumental in helping you prepare for this exam through our app, through our YouTube channels, through our free sessions, through our mocks? I mean, anything in specific you used to tell?
Yeah, the mock test, the study material, and the like video classes are like awesome. Like they are the like the key to success, right? So apart from that, I'll also like to add that the motivational videos of you posted in YouTube, Nishan sir posted in YouTube, right? the short poem kind of thing, motivational quotes that were being posted by Byjus exam prep on the YouTube channel. Those little things are also quite instrumental in making, like helping us in going through that journey. Not just apart from studies, like just to let us be in a better frame of mind. And whatever the post you posted in YouTube and Telegram and all those platforms, it was also quite instrumental. Not just the PYQs and the videos and the classes. Apart from this, like it was a total complete package. We like don't really expect a platform to provide.
Okay, one more question. I mean, any specific feature in our exam prep app that actually you liked the most, and you would like say that this is something which I really went to every time?
Yeah. During the later stages, a new thing was like included in the exam prep app, that was important topics for 2020 exam, right? It can contain all the important MCQs which we should do. Like that was quite up to the level of NTA UGC net. Like it was quite tough. Like initially people who would be solving that, they would think like, no, this is not the level of PYQ. This is not what we should be doing before the exam, right? So yeah, but the exam level got up, the exam level hiked, the questions were quite iterative, right? So yeah, those things which we had done, which we didn't like doing, they actually pushed us up.
As a habit, we also as faculties, what we do is before every major exam, we do three things which is very, very important. Number one, we make sure that the student does go through the previous year questions any which ways. Second thing is what we do is in order to ensure that we leave no stone unturned, we try and cover questions from different difficulty levels also. So we take difficult, moderate, because we don't know what's going to come in the exam.
Yeah.
And the third thing is we always try our best to brush up the most important concepts at least a month before the examination. So these three things, I think each one of the faculties does for their own courses and for their own papers. And this really helps, right? Okay, so any strategy you followed just before 2 weeks of the exam? I mean, just last 2 weeks of the examination, any specific strategy you followed?
Yeah, so I would recommend everyone, like for the last 2 weeks or last 3 weeks, do not solve any new mock test, do not solve any new MCQs. Like what I believe, UGC makes a lot of noise in the question. The question has a lot of noise and the actual what they have asked is hidden in the question, right? So we need to be accustomed with the language, with the way UGC asks the question. So what I would suggest and what I have done, and I'm a firm believer of it, that you need to solve only PYQs in the last 15-20 days, right? Do not solve any mock test, do not solve any MCQ, no need to judge yourself. You have the notes, you go through that. You revise all the MCQ notes you have made, but do not solve any MCQ. During the later stage, just solve as many PYQs as possible. Just even if you don't solve, just read the question. Like you need to know how UGC asks the question. And another thing I believe that the English has to be quite strong to like actually understand the question, because UGC tricks you in the question. The question are not that tough, but there is a lot of noise in the question. So
there's a layering in questions.
Yeah, you need to know how they ask the question. That's all.
Acha, one last question I have for you is, Shantan, is that what is the suggestion that you would give to future aspirants? Or I would say, I would put it another way, that if you were to give the examination again, what things you could have done better? So two questions in a single question.
Okay, so what I could have done better is, right, I could have solved more sums, right? I could have paid more attention to paper one. I honestly love management. I love paper two. I believe that it had 100 questions and it would take me up. It would make me cross the JRF cutoff, JRF line. But yeah, paper one, people do get 40. People do get above 40. I have got 37, 38 in paper one. That questions is correct. So maybe that can also help if like I had paid more attention to the Indian logic part. The environment part, that was not something I liked, but yeah, those 2-3 questions could have given me a better score. Yeah, so don't pay same amount of attention to paper one as well. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yes, we tend to, lean towards one paper and then we try
Yeah,
to, striking a balance is equally important, right?
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much, Shantan, and we wish you all the best on behalf of the Byjus exam prep team and all the faculties, and wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Have a good time.